Hi guys, I'm so glad you're joining me today. I hope you've had a wonderful week. So, get your comfy spot and get your favorite drink and let's get going. Alright, so Bayside Marketplace in Miami has become a real hot topic lately and leaving more questions than answers, really. So, on New Year's Eve, calls came into 911 for reports of teens fighting. Some say gunshots, some say firecrackers. Who knows? But they called citywide 3, which meant every available officer needed to go there ASAP, like right now. And respond they did. In what has been called an unnecessary amount of police. I mean, pretty much all of us have seen it. It was kind of ridiculous. All these cops for some rowdy teens? I know, sounds crazy to me too. Like I said, and I'm probably gonna say a lot, I have more questions than answers. Some stuff that just don't make sense to me. First, I've never in my life seen so many cops. Not for any, not since, I can't even remember. Not for any school shootings or anything like that. And two, wouldn't you think that the fire department ambulance would be somewhere, at least on standby? I didn't see any. I mean, that's a reasonable assumption considering they said they heard gunshots, fireworks, teens fighting. You'd think somebody would be hurt or something, you know what I mean? What we've seen, let's talk about what we've seen on these videos so far. There was a fight, and what some people called a gunshot, just one, or a firecracker going off. That's what they heard, and didn't think much of it at first. And then they heard a couple more, and that's when they really got a little bit scared. And they just automatically started running. Now, I've never been in a position like that, but normally you stop for a second, try to figure out what's going on. Where am I running to? Why am I running? Let's talk a little bit about what's been said the most, like clear across the board. It was the noise they heard first. People were running like faster than the speed of lightning. There was people getting trampled on, and there was just a lot of panic and fear that day. Now, it's at this point, while they're all running and scattering and trying to get out of there, that people say they saw these 10-foot tall, shadowy, humanoid looking things. And I'm going to say things because I don't know what they are. We really don't know what they are. So I'm calling them things. Another thing that was said a lot was this box that these kids had, and they decided to plug it in. When they plugged it in, there was like some crackling, some popping, and lights started flickering. Cell phones, lights, anything electronic started acting real wonky. And then this whoo, 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 like strobing light circles, looked like what people were calling a portal, came out of this box. And next thing you know, there's like a dark, shadowy foot leg thing coming out, and then an arm. And then that's when people started to really freak out and run and get scared, which, you know, I probably would do if I saw something like that. Some couple things that were very consistent was the what these things look like. They're 10 feet tall. They were dark, but yet see-through, and at different times they kind of glitched, like a hologram or a TV or a computer when, you know, when things look pixelated or they're coming in and out. And that was one of the reasons, and stuff kept malfunctioning, which was one of the reasons why people say there wasn't a good picture of these things or good video of these things. And they said another reason, now I heard it from a lot of them, was because that they were so affected by what they saw that was like the last thing they were thinking of. They were only thinking about getting out of there, what were these things doing, what were they, what was going on. And that makes sense to me because you'd be like, that would be not what you'd be thinking about. You'd be thinking about getting out of there and saving yourself. Like one of the eyewitnesses I heard say, you know, when you're faced with something that you, that doesn't make sense to you, something you've never seen, you know, something your brain just can't figure out. Your first thought isn't going to be to grab your camera. It's going to be, let's get out of here. What is this thing here, and why is it here? And that makes sense to me because it's not like if you're seeing a whole bunch of people fighting or in a car accident. Then, yeah, it's normal to you. People, you see it all the time. There's videos, tons of videos of people fighting and accidents. So, yeah, that would be an instance where you pull out your phone and try to record it. And the reason, another reason for me for calling them things is because I've never personally seen what looks like to me shadow people, referred to as aliens. Now, it's not that I don't believe in aliens, because I do. It's just those type are new to me, and I'm not saying that's not possible, because it is. There's a whole range of different aliens, race of aliens, just like there is humans. But it's just new to me. So, and the possibilities are endless, and they're not all going to look alike. So, it's just new to me. Let's say that the reports of these things were the 10-foot tall shadowy people were false. Let's just say, for the sake of it, it was false. Something else huge definitely happened there. And it wasn't because of a bunch of teens running amok and causing trouble and fighting and all that stuff. Only because there wouldn't have been so many cops there. There just wouldn't. And the way they're keeping it all secret. An example. Okay, my son, when he was in high school, tensions were high because they just combined school districts. And a bunch of kids came into that school for a fight. They were looking to fight because of, I think, a girl or something. I don't know. They were fighting. So you can imagine a couple hundred kids already in the school, and then another 30, 40, 50, I don't even know how many came. But even when that went down, they didn't have that many cops. Not even close to that many cops. Also, why no surveillance or body cam footage? You know, they're so sure that it wasn't aliens, that it was these kids fighting. Then just show us. Let me see. You know, I don't get it. Shut up all that hype, get it taken care of, get it done and over with. Instead, they're being secretive and joking about it and making some real leading comments. And one prime example is what that cop said. A famous line. There's no aliens here at the moment. At the moment? What do you mean at the moment? They finally, and I say they, I'm referring to like the government and mostly the government, media a little bit too, but that they're taking all this stuff seriously, aliens, and they want to take a closer look at it, do some more research on it, but still they want to be real weird and secretive and, you know, it just doesn't make sense to me. Why? Why you gotta be that way? So I have two theories of my own, and again, these are just my thoughts. I'm not in any way claiming that I have answers to anything that went on there that night, and I don't have facts or proof or anything. It's just what I'm thinking about and what's going on in my head. Number one, there's something, these creatures, whatever they are definitely something paranormal. And as you know, a whole bunch of stuff is crammed into that category. So they could be a number of different things. So maybe, what if it is, these things were something like spiritual, you know, like spirit, like a demon maybe, or a fallen angel, or like a shapeshifter maybe. Some part of the shadow people that we have heard so much about. Maybe they're part of that group. I don't know. Now, if they were aliens, like I said, they're new to me. I've never heard of a race that's what I would call shadow people. It's completely possible. I mean, there's so many possibilities. It's crazy. And we've seen that. We've seen that there's different races. And they're not all going to look alike, just like us humans, you know. So what if it was spiritual? And why were they involved? You know, I know spirits can go wherever they want to go, pretty much. But, to me, I think they were trying to get something out. I mean, that's why they typically show themselves. It's because they have something to say or something to warn us about or a message, something like that. Now, I know I'm not naive. There are some evil spirits out there trying to hurt you. But for the most part, spirits are pretty harmless and, you know, they're just trying to get your attention for some reason. So obviously, they had something to say. And to me, it must have been really huge. Because we all know that it takes a lot of energy for spirits to show themselves or make a noise or something like that. And with as big as those things were, it must have taken a whole bunch of energy. And I don't think they would go through all that for just nothing. There's possibilities as to what that was is huge, incredibly huge, that I couldn't even guess if I tried. And I think there's more to come because I don't think they were too satisfied with, number one, the way it was received and the fact that nobody really understood what was going on. You know what I mean? So I think they're going to try again until they're satisfied. Because, you know, that's the way spirits usually are. They keep poking and poking and poking until they get their message across or they're satisfied with the outcome of things. You know what I mean? Okay, like I said, in no way do I have answers or the facts, besides the obvious ones that, you know, the cops were out there that night and something did happen in that mall. That's the only facts I have, period. this is just what's rolling around inside my head, so don't quote me on it or anything like that, please, guys. But, now, if there were aliens, which has been the most consistent thought and theory, I think, well, a couple things. Okay. For one, I believe that there are aliens here all the time. Some come and go. They're not always here. Just observing, maybe sometimes interacting, and they always have been here. They come and go all the time, and usually we don't see or know that they're even there. I think on that night in particular, based on some of the statements that I've heard, it looked like these things were glitching, right? They kept hearing that word glitching. What if maybe the technology, whatever kind of technology it is they use to cloak themselves, to hide themselves, was malfunctioning that night? Either from like the weather or, I don't know, some kind of interference, something. Crazy malfunctions happens all the time. And they weren't meant to be seen. As far as the portals, that goes for the portals too. I don't think this portal, whatever, was meant to be seen either. And as far as those portals go, I think that's how a lot of them come and go between our world and their world, even when they're coming in on ship. That's just my thought. My other thought is, if these things were aliens, maybe they fudged it up and came in at the wrong spot. I say this because I heard somewhere a few times that if you flip the coordinates for the mall, it would put you in Antarctica. And we all know this is supposedly there's a base or a colony up there underneath all that ice. Even if maybe they weren't aiming for Antarctica per se. Either way, I think they just messed up and they really weren't supposed to be in that spot. And I don't think they were supposed to be seen either. It's totally plausible. We've all done it. You and I have all done it. We've miscalculated. We've put in the wrong coordinates. We've all done it. We've got lost and turned around. It happens all the time. It makes sense. And maybe they were just as shocked and confused as everybody in that mall. Remember, like I said, this is just my thoughts. So please don't take this for gospel. Don't. So, if they did mean to pop in at that spot at the mall, and all of a sudden their technology stopped working, they would have had no control over that. There's no way they could have. There was nothing they could have done if they were trying to stay hidden. Just like if your brakes fail or on your car, there's nothing you can do. You just gotta roll with it. If your coffee craps bad at the last minute, there's nothing you can do about it. Now, let's say they meant to pop in there and they were meant to be seen. I thought, why? And you probably did too. Well, I think there could be many reasons, some of which I think were the same reasons as I mentioned before with the spirits, that they have something to say. Are they trying to warn us? I don't know. Like I said, the possibilities are endless. But whatever the reason, it's got to be something huge. I mean, they're going to just allow us to see them for just shits and giggles, just for fun. They don't usually, and for the most part, don't want to be seen. Whatever those things are, I believe that we, as humans, are becoming more aware, more open, and we're going to start seeing more of this kind of stuff. I really do. I also believe The government really needs to stop lying, stop covering up, all this crazy stuff. I mean, come on. You want us to support you on stuff like the Space Force, and you're always giving us little breadcrumbs and little nibbles of these little videos and stuff like that. Just put it all out there. Give us full disclosure of everything. And please, I wish they would stop hiding behind the public can't handle it bull crap. And that's what it is, 100%. It's just bull crap. Like I said, I don't know what happened that night, but what I do know is that there's way more to it than the official reports. Because there's no way that many cops would have been needed for a bunch of rowdy kids. And what are you hiding? If there was really nothing for us to see, give us one body cam photo, one CCTV footage thing, something. Really, what do you got to lose? You got nothing to hide, nothing to lose. Remember, people, this is just my opinion. It has nothing to do with YouTube or anything like that. And I'm so curious to know what your thoughts are. What do you think happened? All I know is that I have way more questions than I do answers. That's for darn sure. This is a big reason why I started doing Amy's View, is that so we could have a safe place to talk about this kind of stuff. Listen, and this is serious. I'm going to get very serious for a moment, guys. We are all entitled to our opinions, but I will not tolerate bullying or meanness. You have every right to your opinion and your thoughts, and so does everybody else on this planet. So, let me know what you think, and we are definitely going to be talking about this subject more. Aliens, anyway. Maybe not the Bayside Mall, but we are definitely going to be talking about this much more. I think we are living in a time where people want to know what's going on around us, and they're tired of sitting back and blindly going through life and not asking questions. I also think that for the most part, aliens are harmless. Don't get me wrong, I'm not naive. I'm positive there's bad ones out there, just like there's evil human beings. But they've been here way longer than we have, and so far they have not done anything hostile. In fact, I think that's why we have a lot of our technology that they do. We do. They've been sharing with us for a long time and teaching us. Okay. Anyways, if you have any ideas, a case that you want me to talk about, or a certain subject you want me to talk about, let me know. I will definitely do it, and I'll give you a shout out. Okay, up next we are going to be talking about McCamey Manor and the man behind it, Mr. McCamey. Now this is one you are not going to want to miss, so please hit that like and subscribe button and that little bell so you don't miss an episode. One more thing before I go. I want to mention, remember back in December-ish when I mentioned my mom's book? Her first one and her children's books. Well, there's another one coming out real soon. Like soon, like within the next couple months, I think. And it's going to be called I'm Pretty. And it's all about nicknames. You know, we have all had nicknames in our life. But the first one is called I Am First. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? It's all about being the oldest. So even if you're the only child, or you only have one kid, but they're the first grandchild, the first niece and nephew, whatever, they'll still really, really, really like this. We all know what it's like to be first, and some of us are very proud and take our job very, very seriously. I am so proud of my mom. Look at this. And the colors are fantastic. And it's a short little word that will keep all kids, like, engaged. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Oh my god, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. It's awesome. Okay, you can find it on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, only online, it's not in stores. The Kindle version on Amazon is $3.99, and the paperback is $11.42. You can go right to Amazon, just type in "I'm first" and it'll come right up. And then over on Barnes & Noble, it's the same price, $3.99 for the ebook and $11.42 for a book. And this is what the book will look like. Exactly, just like this one. Alright, thank you all for joining me again this week. I do love and appreciate you all. I do have a couple more followers. Hi guys, I see you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Love you all. Have a good week. Keep it rocking, and I'll see you on the next Amy's View.